Based on a thorough review of the latest information, it appears a summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin is scheduled to take place on August 15, 2025, in Alaska. The following is a comprehensive analysis of the historical context, the stakes involved, the conflicting positions of the key players, and the potential geopolitical implications of this highly anticipated event. The historical context: a complex and unconventional relationship. The relationship between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin is one of the most unique and scrutinized in modern diplomatic history. Unlike previous U.S. presidents who adopted a confrontational stance toward Russia, Trump has consistently expressed admiration for Putin and a desire for improved relations. The Helsinki Summit 2018. Their most notable previous meeting was the Helsinki Summit, which drew widespread criticism. During a joint press conference, Trump appeared to side with Putin over the U.S. intelligence community regarding Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. election. This moment was seen by many as a significant break from traditional U.S. foreign policy and a clear indication of Trump's unconventional approach to dealing with Moscow. Post-presidency and pre-summit interactions. Since leaving office, Trump has maintained a consistent public stance on Russia and the war in Ukraine, often promising to end the conflict quickly. His administration's recent diplomatic efforts, including a special envoy's visit to Moscow, have been aimed at laying the groundwork for this direct meeting with Putin. The two leaders have reportedly held multiple calls and passed numerous messages through intermediaries in recent months, with sources describing their conversations as typically friendly. This rapport, however, has not yet yielded any tangible progress on the battlefield. The current impasse, two unwavering positions, The central challenge of the upcoming summit is the vast chasm between Russia's and Ukraine's conditions for peace. The war, now in its fourth year, has created a stalemate, with both sides holding firm to their maximalist objectives. Russia's demands for peace. Russia's conditions, as repeatedly stated by Putin and his officials, are expansive and would fundamentally alter Ukraine's sovereignty. They include territorial recognition. Kyiv must formally recognize Russia's annexation of Crimea 2014 and the four other Ukrainian regions Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson and Zaporizhia, which Russia illegally claimed in 2022. Ukrainian neutrality. Ukraine must declare its neutral status and officially abandon its bid to join NATO and the European Union. Demilitarization. Russia has also demanded that Ukraine's military be reduced to levels Moscow deems non-threatening. Lifting sanctions. Russia expects the international community to lift all sanctions imposed on it since 2014. Ukraine's conditions for peace. Ukraine's position, supported by its Western allies, is rooted in the principles of international law and territorial integrity. President Volodymyr Zelensky's 10-point peace plan includes full Russian withdrawal, a complete and unconditional withdrawal of all Russian troops from all Ukrainian territories, restoration of borders, a return to Ukraine's 1991 internationally recognized borders, security guarantees, a comprehensive system of international security guarantees to prevent future Russian aggression, accountability, the establishment of a special tribunal to prosecute Russian war crimes, and the payment of reparations. The swapping of territories idea floated by Trump as a potential solution has been met with immediate and firm rejection from Zelensky, who has stated that Ukraine will not cede any of its sovereign land. This highlights a fundamental disagreement that will be exceptionally difficult to bridge. The stakes and geopolitical implications. This summit is not just about Ukraine. Its potential outcomes could reshape the global order. For the United States, for President Trump, a successful summit would be a major political victory, fulfilling a key campaign promise and demonstrating his ability to resolve a major international crisis where others have failed. However, a failed summit or a deal perceived as a concession to Russia could be seen as a betrayal of a key ally and a blow to American credibility. For Russia, for President Putin, the meeting itself is a significant win. It provides him with international legitimacy and a platform to present his demands directly to the U.S. president, effectively bypassing European and Ukrainian diplomatic efforts. A deal that includes territorial concessions for Ukraine would be a monumental victory for Moscow, validating its military aggression. For Ukraine, Ukraine fears being sidelined in negotiations that directly affect its future. A bilateral meeting between the U.S. and Russia without Ukraine's direct participation raises the specter of a new Yalta-style agreement where the fate of a nation is decided by a great power. Ukraine's allies have also expressed concerns that a hurried peace deal could undermine its sovereignty and the principles of the international rules-based order. For European allies and NATO, European leaders have been vocal in their support for Ukraine, emphasizing that any peace deal must be negotiated with Kyiv's full consent. The possibility of a US-Russia agreement that could undermine Ukraine's territorial integrity has sparked anxiety and raised questions about the future of the transatlantic alliance and the credibility of NATO commitment to collective security. Expert analysis and potential outcomes. Foreign policy experts are divided on the likely outcome of the summit. Best-case scenario, an immediate and genuine ceasefire, followed by a framework for broader negotiations that includes all parties. Even this outcome would likely result in an unstable frozen conflict, with the territorial issues unresolved. Most likely scenario, the summit could produce a temporary ceasefire or a humanitarian corridor but fail to reach a comprehensive peace deal. The fundamental disagreements over territory and Ukraine's future neutrality are too significant to be resolved in a single meeting. This would be a symbolic victory for Trump but a short-term failure for peace. Worst-case scenario, a failure to reach any agreement could lead to a renewed escalation of the conflict. More worryingly, a perceived U.S. betrayal of Ukraine could fracture the Western alliance, embolden Russia, and send a dangerous message to other potential aggressors around the world that international borders can be redrawn by force. In conclusion, the upcoming Trump-Putin summit is a high-risk, high-reward diplomatic gamble. It represents an unconventional attempt to end a devastating war, but its success hinges on bridging fundamental disagreements that have proven insurmountable for years. While the world watches with anticipation, the potential for a new era of peace is shadowed by the very real possibility of a diplomatic failure that could deepen the conflict and destabilize the international order.